Hey everyone! Today I'm sharing a process video for this interactive spinner layout that I created for my Me, Myself, and I album, and this one is featuring some wood veneer pieces from Colorcast Designs' latest subscription kit, as well as some digital pattern papers from Citrus Twist kits. I decided to use these wood veneer pieces to document some of my favorite TV shows recently, and I wanted to make an interactive spinner wheel that reveals each one of my favorite shows behind this currently watching TV wood veneer, and also use this film reel wood veneer piece to hold the brad that will hold this interactive page together and allow it to spin. So I'm starting off with a piece of white cardstock measuring 7 inches wide by 8¼ inches tall, and I'm marking off the center point on that page, not including that section where the holes are punched in the left side of the page. I'm going to punch a hole through that center point as well as a hole through the center of this film reel wood veneer. And the wood veneer is actually thin enough that I can just poke the hole using my awl tool. I was debating about using my We Are Memory Keepers crocodile tool to punch a hole in the wood veneer instead, but decided that it might make the hole a bit too big, so I'm just persisting with this awl here, and it does eventually punch through a hole large enough for this brad. And after that, I'm using a small metal brad from Tim Holtz just to hold that film reel into place for now. Next, I need to decide how far down the page to position my TV and this bar that says our rating with the stars to fill in your rating. I'm going to be positioning these pieces on the bottom of my page, but to make sure that I don't position it too far down my page so that the spinner wheel behind this page is going to be too large, I'm actually going to bring it over to the right edge of this page where I don't have as much space between the film reel and the edge of the page. And make sure that I have the TV screen positioned so that the open screen portion is at least ½ an inch away from the edge of the page. Then measure the distance from the center of the film reel to the bottom of the TV so that when I position the TV screen and the rating bar on the bottom of my page, they'll be positioned at relatively the same distance from the middle of the page. Next, I'm going to trace around the inside of the TV screen and around the rating bar, and those are the sections that I'm going to be cutting out with my craft knife so that I can see through those sections. And as I'm cutting these sections out, I'm actually going to trim like just a hair inside of the rating bar window and just a hair outside of the TV screen, just so that these windows don't peek through from behind the wood veneer pieces. After that, I've gone off screen to cut out a circle about 6 inches in diameter, and I just cut that out using my electronic cutting machine, although you can always use a compass if you don't have an electronic cutting machine that can cut a specific size of circle. And I've made sure that this circle is large enough that when it's placed in the middle of my page behind the windows that I just cut out, it extends past that bottom window where my TV screen is going to be. I'm going to temporarily place this behind my window page and use a small circle punch to punch a half circle on the right edge of the page, just along the middle part there. And I want this deep enough that it reveals the edge of my circle piece, although you want to make sure that you're only punching through the 7 and 8¼ inch cardstock and not punching all the way through the large spinner circle itself. So there you can see that I tried to punch using one of my smaller circle punches, but I will come back later with a larger circle punch and just make that slightly bigger so that it gives me enough space for my fingers to hold that spinner wheel and spin it around. Once that's done, I'm going to trace the little screen and rating bar windows onto my circle, then turn it 90 degrees so that I don't see those pencil lines through the windows anymore. Then trace the two windows again, and then rotate it 90 degrees again until I've traced the windows onto my circle 4 times. And here you'll see me playing around with that circle punch a bit more. You don't want to punch the circle too deep into the side of this page because otherwise you will be able to see the TV screen picture peeping out where you have that semicircle punched. Once that's done, I can take all these pieces apart, and I'm going to go off screen again and print out some small TV screens with all of my favorite TV shows. There's going to be 4 that can fit on this one page. These measure about 1¼ inch wide and 7/8 of an inch tall. And I've also printed out 2 pieces of digital pattern papers from Citrus Swiss Kits. The pink pattern paper with the squiggly red line around it is from the handcrafted digital papers. And the white one with the blue pattern is from the Fresh Starts digital papers. I just thought that the squiggly red line kind of made it look like a cozy rug. And I thought the blue pattern kind of looked like some wallpaper. So I thought these would be perfect for creating a cozy scene where I could put my TV screen in the middle of this page. I'm going to position the papers so that the rug piece is coming up about 1/3 of the way up the TV screen so that it doesn't look like the TV is like right up against the wall. And after trimming my papers down to the right size and adhering them together with some score tape, and then punching the holes on the left side of the page, I'm going to use that piece of white cardstock that I had been working with as a template to punch my hole in the center of the page and cut out my 2 windows. Then I'm adhering all of my wood veneer pieces into place. And just using a combination of my Tombow Mono permanent adhesive tape runner as well as some 1/8 inch score tape so that I can make sure that this wood veneer piece is properly adhered down onto my page and it won't come off while I'm playing around with the spinner piece. Next, I have my 4 TV screens that I've printed out with my favorite TV shows recently. And I'm just going to cut these out and adhere them directly onto my circle wheel inside the areas that I've traced around in the pencil mark. And I am placing my spinner wheel back onto that brad occasionally just to make sure that all of the pieces are lining up properly and that I can see the whole TV screen through the TV screen window on the wood veneer piece. And to fill in the stars in the rating bar, I'm using another digital pattern paper from Citrus Swiss Kits. This is also from the Fresh Starts collection. And I'm going to cut some of the strips out a bit shorter and some of them a bit longer, depending on what I'm rating these TV shows as. And because they're my favorite shows, they're going to be 4 stars or 5 stars, just depending on the show. And those pieces are going to be adhered into those windows that I've traced around with my pencil mark as well. And I'm just erasing part of that pencil mark on the right sides of the ones that have 4-star ratings, just so that I don't have any chance of seeing the pencil mark when I'm rotating this wheel around. Because I didn't want any of my TV screens or these yellow pieces of patterned paper to snag on the edges of the windows while I'm spinning my spinner wheel around, I've also cut out a circle the same size as my spinner circle out of some transparency. And this transparency circle is going to be adhered behind the base page with the windows cut out of it. And that should make my spinner circle spin pretty smoothly. To decorate my page, I'm using some black puffy alphabet stickers from Citrus Swiss Kits to spell out my title, Fave Shows. just using my Thicker's alignment guide ruler to make sure that all of my letters are straight before I stick them down onto my page. And I'm going to use some of the other wood veneer pieces that came in this Color Cast Designs kit to decorate the top of the page as well. And those include the two Admit 1 wood veneer pieces, as well as that film strip wood veneer piece that says Action Animated Comedy. And I do have another wood veneer piece that I'm going to be adding off camera as well. And that's just a wood veneer with the popcorn that I'm going to be adding right beside the TV there. And again, these wood veneer pieces are thin enough to easily punch through, so I'm not too worried about the fact that my film strip wood veneer piece is kind of overhanging some of those binder ring holes on the left side there. To finish up this page, I'm going to be backing this whole entire page here onto another piece of white cardstock the same size, just so that I can cover up the mechanism in the back. And as a finishing touch, I'm punching out a half circle from that yellow piece of paper to go behind the spinner wheel on the right edge of the page, just to provide a bit of contrast with the spinner wheel itself. And I decided to mount my entire page onto that back piece of white cardstock using some foam tape, just to give the spinner wheel a bit more room to spin around freely, and also to give my fingers some room to grasp the edge of that spinner wheel as well. And during this step, it's really important to make sure that your foam tape doesn't touch the edge of the spinner wheel, because otherwise it won't be able to spin freely. Just making sure everything is nice and lined up before I peel off my tape backing, and that finishes up my page. I had so much fun creating this interactive spread, and I hope you enjoyed watching me put this together. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and make sure to subscribe for more Craft to Process videos. Thanks so much for watching!